Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Poor Choices. We are not going off the rails this time. And if it is, I blame these two. But in any case, I'm Extra Girl. This is Tug. She's off cam. She's feeling okay. But she's just had a day, so she's off cam. But we're not the important people here.
Yeah, we're not the spotlight people here. These people are. That's why they're napping with their pinks. Also, pass the vibe check. Next time, dance. You're supposed to dance to the intro.
Oh my God, Tugs is watching. I was tweeting. I'm sorry. I'm getting called out.
I was just sitting there, like, looking up at the roof, like, waiting. Like,
Daddy's like, I'm not used to these intros.
Yeah, no.
I will never get over how good that intro is.
It is excellent. Yeah.
Ivan did such a good job. I don't think we could have done any better, to be honest. We just said wine, and he made that.
Yeah. Shout out to Ivan.
But yes, we have two very lovely guests for that time of the month, the 5th episode. We have returning Jonny 64 for your 3rd time.
Oh, I feel like it's got to be more than that, right? I feel like it's like 4 or 5. I don't know. It's good to be back. Not enough.
That's very true.
No.
And the very, very beautiful Alasia A Trouble Green right down below me. She's so cute. First time.
Yes, first time. I'm very, very happy and excited to be here. So thank you for having us on.
Oh, no worries. We were just we were thinking about, we're like talking about relationships and love all the time and getting into relationships, and then you guys kind of just like popped on the radar. And you're like,
literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
And like, why don't we talk about like other people's relationships and like how they started and whatnot? Because people were interested in you guys, and hopefully eventually some of the other people in the fellowship community that's out there. But yeah, we wanted to kind of chat with you guys because what was it? Texas, right? That was how long ago?
Dallas. It's been like a couple months at least. Yeah.
2 months?
Happy 2-month anniversary.
Somewhere in there. Yeah. I know the
Aw.
exact date and I have it written down. So when I get to 6 months and 1 year, I'll be ready. And all
Look
that.
at that. He's already prepared. He's already
very prepared. He has many notes on his phone.
Do you have like a calendar, like a written or a digital calendar that you have all this on?
Well, basically, what I started doing is I just started treating Alasia like another aspect of work, where it's like I have all my. I know it sounds terrible, but I have all my notes and I have all these sections and stuff, and now I just have its own specific folder, basically. That's just Alasia.
An Alasia folder.
Yeah.
I do. I've seen it.
Yeah. So for future trips, day-to-day stuff, long-term goals, all that sort of things. It's just
I love that. Oh, that's so sweet. Look at you. I kind of vibe with that because on my calendar, if you ever see my calendar, it's a bit of a hot mess if you don't understand it. But I have little anniversaries that I like have recurring every year, so it reminds me because I'm
nice.
Will I remember? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my anniversary, but the other little things,
Yeah,
I'm so bad with it.
Take notes, man. Take notes. Have a girlfriend folder. You can put in her face because you guys don't remember this stuff. You just don't remember it.
Oh my God.
Favorite color, favorite food.
This is what you should do during conversations, and I've done this too. Oh, you like this food? Go to the note.
Yep.
What size are you? Go to the note. Put it in. Oh, you like this brand? Go to the note. This is your favorite flower? Go to the note.
Of it. Take a photo of it. I have a friend. Her
it's
now
a sunflower, by the way.
Photos. Huh?
I said it's a sunflower, by the way, but yes.
Oh my God. We should do.
I have a friend of mine. Her now husband went through when they were dating. And he went into her bathroom. I was like, oh, I need to use the bathroom, and took photos of all of the products that she uses, like her shampoo, her conditioner, the lotion she likes, like all that stuff. And so that he would remember, he took photos of like her tampons box so that he would know, because it's inevitable at some point we're gonna be like, babe, can you go get me tampons, please? And we can't leave the couch. And so like he would know exactly which ones to go get.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And at a time to
Sweet.
I know.
That's legit.
Melting.
Well, it saves you stress too as a guy. Like,
Yes.
you know, because like you don't have to deal with like, why would you think it's this one? You know, it's like I got it
Go to the
covered.
shelf.
I covered
It's
all
so
my bases. Yeah.
intimidating. Oh my god.
I know, it's like I've never been here before.
There's so many different brands. What's the difference between regular and heavy flow? I don't know.
The blue box. Which blue box?
Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't have to FaceTime in the grocery store. No, not that one. While you say it really loudly.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Okay, so I guess let's get to know you guys a bit more for
Okay.
people who are meeting you maybe for the first time or just don't know as much about you guys. Jonny, how are you involved with kind of like the online community? How did you get
Yeah.
in there?
Yeah, so my name's Jonny. My full name's Jonny Arnett. The way I basically gained Geeks and Gamers' attention is I have a basketball channel with 137,000 subscribers.
Ooh.
And I waited until I was over 100K, and I had emailed them a couple times trying to get a hold of them because I really wanted to be involved in what they were doing. I grew a love for Jeremy, for the team. I even played Mario Kart with them one time as just like some rant, like back when they were letting people, back when they were just letting like random people like get in. I was able to get in and I got freaking destroyed. I was bad at first.
Look at you now.
Yeah, look at me now. Hard work, people. But yeah, so it wasn't until it's coming up on a year of me being a part of the team, but it was towards the end of the year. It was the Arizona trip.
Mhm.
And the Arizona trip was coming up pretty quick, the meetup. And the reason why I really wanted to go to that one is because the one they were talking about after that was this upcoming one in October in Orlando. And I knew
Mhm.
that one was going to be a big deal. Like I knew there was going to be a ton of people there and everything. So I'm like, if I really want an opportunity to talk with like Jeremy and Ryan, all the guys, and like make my pitch, I need to catch him at a time where it's not like too crazy. So I flew to Arizona. I spoke with Ryan first. He liked the idea of bringing me on to Sports Wars. And so I got to know Jeremy a little bit. And then I became more involved in Geeks and Gamers Play because once Jeremy found out I was also a Nintendo fan, he got really excited. So
I love Nintendo.
Yeah. Yes. And then I also have a gaming channel that just hit 2,500 subscribers. My brother does the editing there. He does a great job. That is called Jonny64. So yep.
Link in down below. Now I feel
Yeah.
like I need to link your basketball channel too, but
Mhm.
I don't know how many poor choices people love basketball.
Yeah, that's fine. I like the idea of like it's a fun challenge to me. I want to be successful in different areas of life. I like the fact that people don't even know about this other field I have.
I love
I enjoy that.
drive.
Yeah, I like trying to, I don't know, diversify myself and challenging myself in that way. I think it's fun. So anyway, your turn, babe. Go.
Yes.
Jonny
So
talks forever, in case anybody noticed.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, it makes me so
No, it's okay
proud.
because Alasia is quieter than a mouse, so it's
It
fine.
can be, yes.
Balance
Yeah,
it
well,
out.
no, and I yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm a Troubled Green. Most of you have probably seen me in quite a few of the G&G chats. I joined like the kind of the chat community, if we want to use that word, in 2020, late 2020 when Gina Carano was getting canceled. That's when I found Nerdrotic and everybody. And I have always had like the handle at Troubled Green, but I think it was February. I got serious about my channel, or at least I tried to. When she's talking about Lord of the Rings, this is facts, Max. I do. I get very passionate when I'm talking about Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
But so I have just started my channel just this year. I have officially hit 400 subscribers, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
really, really happy about that. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with my channel. For those who know me well, I'm a book girl. Tugs has been like, since the moment Tugs knew me, I feel lucky I know who John Wayne is. Like, I'm not into movies. I'm not into actors. I'm not into TV shows. Like, I'll watch them. I love Dune. That's like, I love Maverick, but I do feel lucky I can remember who, who played Maverick? I can't. No.
Wow! I'm lucky I can remember. Wait, who
Oh,
played?
God.
Like
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Thank you.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
you.
yeah, you were saying you're so lucky you remember who?
Yeah. See, this is like me all the time. So books are my thing. So I'm trying to do book reviews. And I talk about more feminine things, which is, it's kind of like a different aspect of what Poor Choices does. Trying to get into like more feminine talks and stuff like that. And then I have like an Instagram, which is a Troubled Greens library. And that's where like I unapologetically display my love of books. So yeah, so I'm not, you know, I'm still figuring out my online presence, and I'm still building my persona as an online person. But it's funny enough, Jonny and I, you know, we've had many long conversations. I Poor Choices was actually the very first place I ever saw him. So you guys had him on. Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
I went back
then.
and I found the stream that it was his very first time on, and I found the super chat that I sent that kind of, I think, got his attention a little bit. So yeah, if it hadn't been for Poor Choices, I don't know if we ever would have met.
You're welcome. We better be invited to this wedding.
I'm shocked. I'm so happy to have you guys on now, especially with that. I didn't know that. Holy crap.
Yep.
Jaw dropped.
We're going to the wedding. We're all going to the wedding.
Yeah, I remember the comment and everything. It was just funny because I was actually aware of.
What was it?
Yeah.
Well, one of them, I'm not sure if it's your first one. It was the first one I really noticed, and the conversation was on drinking, and she was like, "Would you guys would anybody be comfortable hanging out with someone if they didn't drink, or dating someone if they didn't drink?" And I was like, "Yeah, not a big deal. I'm not crazy about alcohol." And it was funny, and she noticed that. She noticed how accepting I was and that sort of thing. But I was already aware of her. I was already aware of her because of just her channel. I liked her channel while I was still kind of just lurking and that sort of thing. And she loves Lord of the Rings, and I love Lord of the Rings. And so I'd kind of been observing her there for a little bit. And even before Dallas happened and we got together, I had spoke to my mother and I told her, "Hey, just letting you know, say a prayer about it, but there's this girl I'm interested in. I think I might meet her in Dallas, and I think she's pretty cool. So I don't know. I just got my eye on her. We'll see what happens." And then I just totally fell for her in Dallas. So, yeah.
So now we kind of have a little bit of an origin story. You guys kind of informally met on Poor Choices. You guys were aware of each other at that point that you both were aware. Jonny obviously was a little aware a little earlier than before the channel. How did you fall onto her channel? You don't mind me asking.
I wish I could give I have such a hard time remembering how I got to everyone's channels because I try to just discover everybody. It's so whoever Tugs is friends with, whoever X-Ray Girl's friends with, I check out their channels too. And so I honestly can't remember, but it was she probably made some comment about Tolkien and seemed passionate. I was like, I'm going to check out her channel because she probably was guesting on another channel or that sort of thing, or even just in the comments. Yeah,
I remember you being in chat the very first time I was on Max's channel with McKenna. We were talking about Lord of the Rings that night.
Yeah, that's right. That might have been it, actually.
There we go.
Discovered your channel.
But I remember
Max our matchmaker.
Thank you, Max.
I remember when he started, I was there the very first night he started his Twitch channel. I watched for a little while because he played the whole game. So that was the first indication. I was like, man, this guy does not sleep. What is wrong with him? I was a little weirded out. But I was like, I remember him being very attentive to me. And I was like, this guy knows he knows who I am. That's weird. I was like, man, that's, interesting. And I kept going back to his channel. And every time I showed up in Jonny's chat on Twitch in particular, he would make everyone leave me alone. Because anyone who knows me well in this community, I'm a little prudish. I'm a little uptight. I'm passionate, but I don't really joke around. I don't tease too terribly much. And I remember there was one instance in particular one night I had said something, and for the life of me, I don't remember what I said, but people started just really piling on and really teasing me. They're like, "Oh, you're so old fashioned, Alasia." He threatened his entire chat that he'd yeet everybody out except me and also take away all their mod privileges just because he was like, leave her alone.
Well, yeah, I viewed her.
Joking, but
No, I wasn't. I wasn't joking. I was really putting the foot down where I was saying, listen, this person in here is a lot more innocent than all you horny animals. All right. Stop putting that crap on her. Stop trying to corrupt her. I was like, and so I was being a little bit protective of her. And to me, that didn't mean anything to me. I knew her. I was well aware of her and how she carries herself and what she believes in, her convictions, that sort of thing. So I was like, yeah, I just thought I'm gonna stick up for her a little bit. But apparently it meant a lot to her. Like it really meant a lot to her.
That was the moment that I really started evaluating him, was that evening. And then there was right before Dallas, I was cleaning out my car, and I think it was your 48-hour stream, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I was lurking, and I had been lurking for over 2 hours because I was cleaning out my car. And then I think Cappy said something because y'all were playing together. And and I was I popped in chat and I was like, what on earth is going on? And Johnny's like, Alesia's here. All of you stop being raunchy. So every time I showed up in his chat, he just he was not only very attentive to me and all of my comments, he would go out of his way to read my comments. I felt very safe. I felt very protected in his chat. And that for me is kind of a big deal because I kind of had never felt like that before. So that was the moment I started kind of evaluating him, and because his behavior was just so different to every other person I'd see streaming. So yeah, that meant the world to me, because kind of my desire number one for a partner was to feel safe for them, and he always made me feel safe. So yeah.
That's so sweet. Oh my gosh. So that's when you both had each other on your radar without even knowing that you each were on each other's radar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
And we had hung out, how many streams had I been on, babe? Before?
2?
Yeah, 2 streams. We actually streamed together. We talked Lord of the Rings and that sort of thing. And then you had some issues with the Elgato and that sort of thing. And so we had, spent some time privately together. But in Dallas, she was nervous. I knew she was an introvert. We talked about at a meetup, just hanging out in our introvert corner. And so she had texted me and she had said, hey, I hope you're okay with me sharing this, babe.
No, yeah, go on, babe.
Okay. When she was she texted me, she's like, when I show up, I'd like it if you could, would you be down to come meet me outside so I don't have to walk in? And that bar was crazy busy. And so I was like, yeah, absolutely. I didn't think anything of it. So I went in there, went out there, gave her a hug, and then basically just hung out with her for a while. And, really liked, what I was seeing and getting to know her. And, but the next day, I was kind of peopled out. But I wanted to hang out with her more. I wanted to hang out with Arkasul more, but Arkasul had already took off. And so I think me and Megan were going to hang out, Megan and Aleja. And we were going to grab food. Maybe we were going to watch a movie, that sort of thing. But Megan fell through. Everybody else fell through. And so I asked Alasia if she wanted to hang out. She's like, well, it'd be just us. She's like, are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm. I was very blunt and if you don't feel comfortable being with me by yourself because you don't want anything to be misconstrued, give me the wrong idea. Because I didn't know he was. And I have to be honest, I was he would never be into a girl like me. It's not possible. So I was like, hey, you will not hurt my feelings if you were you want to back out. I sincerely 100% understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I just thought about it for a little bit, and I was because I was nervous too. I didn't feel I didn't go to Dallas thinking I'm going to start a relationship. But I was just really liking what I was seeing. And so I went to, I was like, you want to grab food? She wanted to eat Chick-fil-A. I know you love Chick-fil-A. She can't have red meat. And I love Chick-fil-A. So we went there, and just the way the conversations went, we talked about everything. I mean, it was a community, it was politics, it was the state of the world right now, our faith, and everything that I was this would be a deal breaker for me or a red flag if she didn't share this feeling with me, if she didn't share this view on something with me. Everything that I had that concern with, it was just reaffirmed just at Chick-fil-A, just chatting with her. I was like, this girl, she feels like she was sculpted for me, seriously. And so it got to a point where it was just I'd be stupid to not pursue this. Seriously, I'd be really stupid. I mean, everything, even how introverted she is. Because with past relationships, I've only dated extroverted girls up until Alasia. And when we'd go to like get-togethers and stuff, they'd make me like feel bad. They'd like shame me for how much I just like kind of hung out in the back, how I wasn't really that outgoing and that sort of thing. And it made me feel like crap, but I didn't know how to fight it. Like, that's just how I am. And so even things like that, like not just what we believe in our convictions, but like even our personalities, like, yeah, we both want to take off at 11 p.m. Like, you know, that's me.
I feel that. I feel that.
And so, yeah, we were just totally in sync. And so it was soon afterwards that I was like, hey, I'm really interested in pursuing this. Are you interested too? She was too. So
was this in Chick-fil-A when you finally affirmed these feelings? Wasn't over the nuggies.
Doing the Lord's work at Chick-fil-A.
I know, because I mean, Chick-fil-A in itself is like, I know they're run by Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that would have been like a beautiful moment if it did happen. I'm just saying.
That was when I became sure, but I wasn't. I don't know. I still wanted to kind of make sure it was something a little bit more special than being surrounded by people stuffing themselves full of like greasy sandwiches.
Okay,
So
you knew after Chick-fil-A that this was a thing. Alasia, how did you feel after the Chick-fil-A kind of semi-date?
So
we'll call it maybe semi.
Yeah. So the thing is that, you know, obviously I had watched Jonny's streams when he was streaming at a decent time and I was awake.
Yes.
You know, I would hear him talk and he would say like, I'm not interested in a relationship. I want to stay single. I'm happy as I am right now. And I very much am someone who's like, okay, I got to respect that. I need to be respectful of that. I need to not, you know, try to be that girl in his chat, you know, even though I was like, man, he is good looking. And man, he seems to like have all these qualities that I you know, would be looking for in a life partner or what have you. I need to respect that. I need to be, you know, conscientious of that. Like, so I went into this very much so being like, we're just hanging out as friends. Like this is not going anywhere. We're just friends. And like, honestly, like there's some of the things, you know, Evie, I'm sure has had an article on this. It's like the top 5 things to not talk about on the first date, or just even when you're hanging out. And I talked about all of those things. And I was like, I am sure I've scared this guy off. Like, this is way too much. So, and then because I drove to Dallas because I hate flying. So I drove the 10 hours. I toughed it out and drove the 10 hours. I had my car. And so I was driving and I got turned around in the damn parking lot. And I hit a curve and I was so embarrassed. And he's like, are you nervous? And I was like, yes, I'm really nervous. And he's like, you don't have to be. Like, it's fine. Everything's fine. So I just turned around and thank God my tire was okay because I really hit it.
And that was after you spilled a drink in Chick-fil-A too.
Yeah, I spilled a drink.
Are you clumsy?
I felt so bad. I could tell like this girl is so nervous right now, and she doesn't have to be. And I literally, that was like the first time I probably touched you. Like I put my hand on your shoulder. I was like, you don't need to be nervous. Like, this is okay. Like,
so like that. So we went to Maverick, and you know, he got us some snacks and stuff, and so watched the movie, loved it, and I was taking him back to his hotel, and my gas light came on, and I had to go get gas, and so we were leaving, and he's like, got back in the car, and he's like, hold on a second, I want to talk to you, and I was like, oh God, okay, and that's when he told me. But so he took me by surprise. It, like, not even joking, I was very shocked. Because I kind of had it in my head. I was like, I could never be good enough for this guy. And I'm a deeply faithful person. I remember saying to God, like, if you give me if you give me a man that's half of him, I'll be happy. Like, I will be content if I can have half of his character in another man. And like, if he's not for me, just give me at least something like this. And so I was shocked when he told me. And yeah, I remember feeling over the moon. So yeah, I was like, I'm so oblivious that everything was going over my head. So yeah.
I could tell on Saturday at the dinner.
Was that the next day after all this happened?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God.
Third wheeling it as per usual.
No,
I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I had those feelings developing for a while, but that Chick-fil-A, that conversation that happened. That's when I knew. So I'm like,
I
okay,
love
I'm gonna
it.
ask this girl out this weekend, and yeah, I mean, I was still nervous when I did it, but you know, I was just like, worst thing she says is no, and then I have clarity and we're moving on. But fortunately, she didn't say no. So
I love that you guys talked about like some pretty deep stuff that first like real conversation
yeah,
that you guys had, just the two of you, because like I think a lot of people are scared of having that, especially like when do people bring up a tough situation like politics and you know morals and all that, like third date to like 3 months, that's a lot of time wasted for some people, right? So I like that you guys got it out of the way, made sure. I mean, maybe Alasia, you didn't know 100% for sure at that point. That's what you were kind of going for. Jonny, maybe more so at that point. But the fact that you guys kind of flushed all those details out, figured it out, like those were your big red flags, yes or no, and let's go. Let's go, baby.
Well, that's the way I really wanted it to go, to be honest. I didn't want her to know that I was thinking that way. Like, I didn't want her to know. And like, for me, when I said stuff, you know, I said stuff on my Twitch and stuff about, I'm probably going to die single or that sort of thing. Like, I've been through a lot of rough relationships and felt really crappy by the end of them to feel like something's wrong with me, you know? But it was just compatibility things. It was like, stop being an introvert, try to date extroverts. You know, sometimes it's simple things like that. Or stop meeting these girls in Cali and then being surprised that they think like Cali girls. But yeah, like, so there was a part of me that definitely believed that when I said those things. It's like when you get into your 30s and you're still single, it's just natural. You start questioning things. You start getting worried. You don't trust God as much, you know, for those of us like myself, Aleja, and Tugs who have the faith in God. Like, we just were like, we begin to question things. But there was also a part of me that's like, I didn't have a problem putting that out there, because if I was to pursue a woman, I didn't want her to pursue me. I didn't want Alasia to like feel like she was trying to beg for my attention. I wanted to say, hey, I noticed you, I'm pursuing you, and I'd like to, if you know you're interested in that as well.
He's got like pinpoint precision, this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just old-fashioned in that way. And so if she was like, if she didn't think that I was available, I was fine with that, because I was going to make it very clear to her that I was available when I felt it was ready, you know? And so that was part of my thinking there too.
Yeah. And very much I you know, I'm old-fashioned too. I don't believe the woman should do the pursuing. You know, we're built to be pursued, and the man is meant to chase. And so I am, and I'm not an outgoing person. I'm not naturally flirty at all. Like I'm awkward, and I'm weird, and I like to talk about books. You know, it's just, that's who I am. I'm not outgoing, and so I appreciated the fact that he was very open with me and said, these are, you know, this is what I want, and are you interested? So it made me feel desirable when he said that I didn't have to do the heavy lifting, is that he was like, nope, you're the girl I've got on my sights. So it made me feel in that moment very feminine, because I felt like he was, you know, he was desiring of me and my company. So yeah.
That's very true. I feel like a lot of men these days, and I'm just kind of referring back to like my dating, like they just are too scared to come up to you, tell these feelings, have these real conversations. You know, I don't want to talk about the weather. Like, I really hate like small talk. Let's get to something more real than that. So I appreciate that you guys kind of had that and were able to navigate through that. And I mean, like, who does not want to be pursued as a woman, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's such a good feeling. And I'm just sitting here smiling and being like, oh my god, you guys are so cute.
I think it's just kind of like, people are different. I'm not going to say this is the right way to do it. Objectively, this is the right way to do it. But this is how me and Alasia do it, is we want to go into a relationship knowing that we're serious. Rather than most people, I feel like it's a society norm to start dating to find out if you're serious. I'm someone who gets very emotionally attached. I'm very invested in Aleja already, you know? Exactly. So I'm not interested in getting to know her after I've already started dating her. You know, I want to get to know her beforehand, and then I can make that, you know, calculated decision of should I move forward with this, you know, because that's when you start getting red flags. That's when you start getting warnings and you go like, you know what? I can work through it because she's hot, you know, and we've already shared some close moments. So I'm just going to push through it. It's like, I wanted to do that evaluating beforehand so that I could go forward with a clear mind. And it's like, it's not to say that like, we're still not married, we're still dating, but I like going in with a better sense of, I have a good sense of who this person is, what she stands for. There isn't going to be like, oh, wait, you don't want children? You know, it's like, no, we already had that conversation, you know? So it's like, that's not, I don't have to think in that moment, oh, am I going to break up with her now that I want children and she doesn't want children? It's like, no, we already had that conversation, and yeah, we both want children. It was just like everything that was a concern for me, it's just, she fit right in. So
yeah, it's nice that you have a list. Sorry, go ahead, Tugs.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, I would say that's exactly, Paul. This is what I'm talking. It's called courting, actually.
Yeah.
There's a difference. People are like, "Oh, courting is just a modern dating is just a modern updated word of courting." No, it's not, because dating is
Very
just
different.
to see what's out there, whereas courting is dating with a purpose.
Yeah.
The purpose is to get married. The purpose is to build a family. The purpose is whatever your purpose is. But
That's what I always think. Like, why are you with this person if it's not to be with them for the long term? You're just hanging out, right? So, like, you guys.
I hate that term. You want to hang out? No,
no. I want to. See
No, I don't.
Yeah, you guys fleshed out all the top like red flags, and then you go through your maybes, and then you're gonna see like whatever it is that you guys endure, and then you're like, okay, whenever you get to that next part, it'll be easier than how modern people do it today.
Yeah.
Infinitely easier.
Yeah.
So what I've learned about Jonny is that he, and I'll use his word, calculates a lot of things. He has a lot of purpose. And the two goals that I've seen him reach, Alasia and Geeks and Gamers, he goes in with a plan, sets himself up, and, you know, calculates and figures out, okay, is this going to work for me? Is it going to work for them? Of course. And I love that. I love that you are, you analyze the situation and know what you want and go for it. You don't hear a lot of that.
No,
you really don't.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Extra. Yeah. No, for sure. No, it was cool. But I mean, I don't want to take credit for anything. It's like, I really like, if you believe in God, cool. You believe God brought Alasia to me. That's what I believe. If you don't believe in God, then you're the luckiest MFer ever. Okay. Either way, it was a super awesome opportunity that it's not like I'm going to take credit for it. You know, it was presented before me, and thank God it worked out.
Yeah.
The way it did,
well,
you know?
and like for me, so that Saturday I had I had forced myself to get out of bed and go to the dinosaur museum. So I was like, I'm gonna at least do one thing while I'm here as part from the convention. So I'd gotten up and I was back in my hotel room and I was just hanging out, and I was actually talking to my friend McKenna because she was having a little bit of FOMO, and so I was telling her about like the meetup and everything, and she's like, how's Jay? And I was like, oh, he's great. We talked to him for like all of 5 seconds, and you know he was busy, so we were talking, and I had kind of told her some of the stuff that had happened at the meetup that night. And she had just was like, just be wise about it, you know, pray about it. You know, what comes, and if it's not meant to be, then that'll be obvious. And I got off the phone with her, and again, it's, you know, this you have to take if you're a believer or not. But I prayed in that moment, God, if this is your will, please let it be known. And if it's not, please slam that door shut. And 2 hours later, he texted me and asked me, hey, you want to go see a movie? And I was like, okay.
So what I'm hearing here is I was the last to know about all of this. Wow.
Well, it wasn't even you. We weren't really telling anyone. I mean, Jeremy was going, wow, Jonny, like anytime we'd get together, which was very few and far between, he's like, I've barely seen you this trip. And they had no idea why. It turns out I was hanging out with this pretty lady the whole time. You know, it's like, that's how I spent Dallas, was just hanging out with Alasia a lot. So, and I planned on being at more Geeks and Gamers things, but yeah, I just wasn't. And then because we didn't get any photos together, we didn't want to make it an official. until I went to go visit her where she's at, and we got some photos together, and she could post them, and she likes being on social media.
Yeah.
I hate social media, but she likes it. So I knew it was important to her to celebrate that, to post that. So I'm like, all right, we'll wait to let people know until, we get together a couple weeks from then. So yeah, it made sense to Jeremy, and the Geeks and Gamers team eventually, but like I didn't tell anybody for a while,
So
or
after-
hardly any.
After Dallas, because I'm assuming Saturday was like this dinner. I wasn't there, so I don't know. And
Yeah, it
then
was
do you
like a
guys leave
team
Sunday?
No, I left on Monday.
You guys left on Monday. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys probably saw each other Saturday, Sunday. You guys left and then planned to meet up an additional time to kind of solidify things.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, and then that's when you guys. Okay. Oh my gosh. And then now we're going strong.
Oh yeah.
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 For
Jonny's already picked out the wedding venue and the flowers. And
I just
flowers.
No,
All right.
that's the girl's job, but Johnny's got it all figured out. Just sit back and relax, lady. You don't gotta worry about a thing.
if I do, you guys know me, how competitive I am, how driven if I'm doing anything, I'm doing it with intentionality. Like I'm not just hanging out, I'm not just like, oh, we'll see where this goes. No, I thought about this. Like I know where I want this to go. And if it doesn't, Alasia's free to do what she wants. I know that, but I think I have a pretty good idea of what she wants to. So, this is really blessed.
This
Maybe
should
we
be the
can do it
mindset.
fast.
More. This is the mindset that needs to happen.
This does. I like the way that you've kind of taken the steps through this. Like this is very like Renaissance man. Like you don't hear of this happening very much.
Mhm.
Like guys who are on like app dates, like they're like, hey, you free? Wow. Way to make me feel special.
But the same thing's true of Alasia, like, in terms of like she just wasn't like most women. She was open to having those real conversations. She wanted to be pursued. She wanted to feel like a woman, which is empowering to her and her femininity. But like as a guy, like I want to be a protector. Like as a guy, when you don't let us do that, it feels like you're rejecting a part of us that's innate in us, where it's like, why won't you let me love you? Why won't you let me protect you? It's like some women are just so like, I can take care of myself. I don't need your help, to the point where they won't accept anything from a man. And it's like, there's a lot of women like that today. And so who she was and, her personality and just her character, it's like, I recognized it was a very rare thing. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. A lot of women that I know, they're very, very different from Alasia. I like that you have, and we'll call them this as it is. You have standards.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. That's what I meant. Like, last week I had put in chat, don't lower your standards, ladies. And Tugs, you had brought up like, does he need to have a 6-pack? Does he need to be 6 something? Does he need those things? No, that's silly. But I wanted a protector. I wanted someone I felt safe with. I wanted a man who I knew, if he became the father of my children, he would not be an absentee father. I knew that he would take care of our family. He would be a man of God, not a Christian. He'd be a man of God. Those are 2 separate things in my book. And he's those standards that I had thought, because I don't know. I read Jane Eyre at 13, and then I read Sense and Sensibilities, and I think it did something to my head. But like ever since then, I have just had these almost impossible standards that no man has ever reached. And my mom has said to me my whole life, you need to lower your standards. You need to lower your standards. You're never going to find anybody if you don't lower your standards. And what was incredible to me, the more and more I talked to Jonny and the more I evaluated him, and he evaluated me in his own way. And even though in the back of my mind, I was like, I could never be good enough for this guy. Like I was evaluating him in those ways. He met all of my standards. So there were standards that like, and Tugs, you did bring these up, like what are your, I will not compromise on. Mm-hmm. And he met all of those. I didn't want to have like, I have a type. I have like, a physical type or a like, an emotional type. I don't want any of that. These were the desires of my heart, and all of them showed up in him. So when I say don't lower your standards, like if there's something you're not going to budge on, then don't settle. And so, and I was really scared. I mean, I'm, early 30s, I was terrified because even the guys at my church, none of them had like this masculine aura. They refused to talk about their masculinity and femininity. They were like, oh, is this girl? Like, I could tell they were afraid I was going to Me Too them or something. Like, even the guys at my church were super letdowns. And I was like, okay, just never mind. So to meet someone who just like had every masculine quality that I wanted to show up, he did. Mm-hmm. And so, that's what I mean. Like, don't lower your standards because you never know who's around the corner. Because again, a YouTuber from South Dakota, I never thought in a million years. So.
Well, I want to clarify too, like me and Alasia were invited onto the show. Like, we didn't come onto the show going, let's educate people on how we're doing relationships right. Like, all I am right now is grateful. Like, I'm just grateful. Like, because I think we've all, like, you get to that age and you're being single, those things happen where you're just like, I can't find everything I'm looking for. Like those things, like Tugs's list and my list and those things where it's like, they got to have these things in line. Otherwise we're not going to work. You start going, am I going to have to settle? That doubt and that fear starts creeping in. Am I going to have to settle? And the only reason I'm not dealing with that doubt and fear is because she's literally in my life right now. And if she wasn't, I'd still be dealing with that doubt and fear to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's very understandable, but all I'm feeling is like encouraged. And I think what Alasia's saying, like, she wants to be encouraging in that same way. Is like, she's realizing now, like, she had those doubts, but now she's like, oh, a Jonny does exist, and I'm super encouraged that people like Aleja exist. So
I think Dr. Rachel brought up a good point earlier, saying that, like, where was it? It's not about like maybe not physical, but I think personality, your interests, and your just the integral core moral standards, political, all that. You definitely shouldn't lower that. Like, if that's what makes you who you are, then don't lower it, because then you're just compromising a part of you.
And like, also, Dr. Rachel, with this is something that I have had to take back, and watching Alasia and Jonny, watching Lady Ripa and Eric, even Joe and Rolo, who are new, and of course Mark and X-Ray Girl, watching the relationships, the healthy ones, because they are out there. Obviously, we have 2 of them on our panel. They are out there. Watching them, the reason you're frustrated and let down is because you were settling. Go back and think of all the men that you talked to on the phone, that you texted 24 hours a day, because I do this, because I'm like Jonny. I'm very emotional, and I get very not clingy, but you get very caught up in the moment, and you get very, I love you with all of my heart. If I like you, I'm annoying.
You're the crazy girlfriend meme with the big eyes.
I want to talk to you all day long. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So anywho, but if you go back and you look at those guys or girls, you will notice that there's always something that we go back and we talk about our exes now, and we're like, God, what was I thinking? Well, that's because you settled. Whatever it was. Whatever it was. It could be something little. It could be something really big. It could be something, that maybe they did in the relationship that they didn't do at first. And then you went, oh, I'll just ignore that. That is why you're frustrated. And that's why you were let down.
How many times have people done it? A billion, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I have black cats. You want one of mine?
Well, your Superman statue?
The superhero. Okay.
Oh wait, wow. Okay. Is that your archetype there?
Apparently. Max like a certain physical.
So I think I guess let's get to some of our we'll just get some super chats at the moment. Big Raj for $1.99. Thank you for the super sticker. Jeremy Wormy, Jonny, who is the shrimp now. Oh wait, so I can say simp now for $2.
It's because he's gonna hold that against me forever. I don't even remember the context of it, but I playfully called him one, and now he's just coming at me with it. That's fine.
I have to tell Chrissy about.
I simp for Alasia. That's fine.
I think we should always simp for our person.
I mean, to a certain extent. Does the definition, I think I've asked this before, I don't know if I asked it here, does this definition of the word simp includes the fact that you will never say anything that will upset her. Like you are literally like willing to sacrifice like what you want for queen, you know? Because if that's the case, I don't want to be that. Okay, she doesn't want me to be that either.
I think so. I think what simp started out as it was basically somebody who respected their woman, like would bend over backwards for them, and basic human decency and like logicalness when it comes to relationships. And somehow it's turned into like this meme.
It's about like internet thoughts.
Yeah, and now it's the internet people have gotten control of it, and we all know them. We love them, but we know them, and it's
I simp for my suborg. It's okay.
Oh, here's this for Ulu, who knows everything.
It normally only applies to people who you're not in a relationship with. The idea is where you keep pandering for someone who doesn't care about you back. Okay, well, I guess I don't simp then.
Yeah, I wouldn't either by that definition.
Wow. Ooh, you're
is that the real meaning behind it? Interesting.
I think there's a video out there a couple videos that explain the word simp, and I watched it back in the day where it's like the idea that you're not getting that gratifying relationship behavior. It's a one-sided relationship.
A situationship, if you will.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like you're giving like your donation or whatever it is to get noticed, but you don't get that relationship aspect back.
Yeah.
It's not reciprocal. Let's go with that.
Yep.
Very one-sided.
A gal I went to high school with is in chat, Susie Dominguez. Thank you, lady. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much.
Hello,
that means the world to me.
Who? What?
Susie Dominguez.
Oh,
She's
here you go.
I went to high school with her. So
Aww.
thank you so much, sweet lady. I appreciate that.
I cannot wait to meet you. Oh, well, and you, Jonny, because I haven't met you either.
I know, that's crazy. We gotta meet each other. Actually.
We just this is what happens with internet friends. You guys, we know each other for X months, years, sometimes even, and then when you finally meet, it's like this like kind of awkward like. Do I hug you? Like, I feel like I know you so well, but I haven't actually like known you.
Yeah. I gotta find out if you're really 8 feet tall.
According to Max, you're 9.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when I just tower over everyone at this rate.
You don't tower over Alasia though. You got a tall buddy now. You have a tall buddy now.
Tall
Max,
lady.
I'll trade you one black cat for that Superman statue.
I knew it. I knew you were
there
that.
was.
What now? Oh, here we go. 9 feet.
9 feet tall. Jeremy Wormy for another $5 says, speaking of new channels, thanks for watching my video, Jonny. I guess
I'll keep supporting, dude. Keep pumping out the videos. You're off to a good start. Keep it up, man.
Oh, maybe I should
check out Jeremy Wormy's channel. He's doing movie reviews and stuff. I listened to his Prey review. So that was good.
I'm hearing so many mixed things about that.
I need to watch this Prey video.
See, now we're going off the rails. See what happens?
Well, I blame Jeremy. There we go.
It is
Sub.
Jeremy's fault.
Jeremy, you got a sub out of me. There we go.
Nice.
I didn't know you're making videos. Yeah. Okay, Eric. This is true. Eric hugged me and he was like, "Hi," and I'm just like, I was so overwhelmed that day, Eric. There's so many people were introducing themselves. I just didn't know what was happening. I'm just
can
like,
you guys bring name tags, please?
yes. If you had Eric K on a name tag, it would have been so much easier because you didn't reveal your face yet. How was I supposed to know who you were?
Well, when I met Shield Wall, he was like waving at me pretty emphatically, and I was like, I don't know who you are. And then he would like come up to me and say, like, I'm Shield Wall. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry.
It's so hard when you don't know like their avatar versus their actual face. Like, I wouldn't have thought.
Also, someone who hates like strangers and like is super awkward and shy to talk to anyone. I was like, I'm not talking to that person.
Bring name tags, you guys. Put your YouTube or Twitch names on them so we know who you are. Max, rude. Blocked.
To be honest, that's something like we could do at meetups. Is like we could have like Sharpies and like name tags at the entrance so that people put that down.
Maybe
and put your account name. If you want to share your real name, that's fine, but we need to know who you are.
Just put lurker, so I know.
Or lurker if you're a lurker.
Yeah.
Lurker, yeah.
There's lots of lurkers out there. Thank you. We love the lurkers.
Yes, we love our lurkers.
Alan Reese for 5 British pounds. It's great to see. Great seeing 2 lovebirds. Congratulations, guys. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
You guys are very cute. Cajun for $4.99. This relationship isn't a poor choice. Facts. Y'all are perfect for each other. Cheers to you two.
Thank you,
I
Corey.
freaking
Thank you.
agree with that.
Agreed.
Freaking agree. It's Chewy for $5 sub to the sexiest ladies in Tugs and Extra Girl. I have an announcement. Allie Nicole is coming to Houston. Come tomorrow through the 14th. Okay,
Ooh,
if you're in Houston,
Careful,
there you
careful,
go.
Chewy. Don't get arrested.
Okay. We're going there.
Oh, I'm going there.
Tugs is going there. So much for not going off the rails. Don't get arrested, Chewy.
I mean, it's a valid recommendation. Don't get arrested.
I'm just saying.
Good advice.
Yeah, look at this Prime for $4.49 British pounds. I'm watching a show on Prime. No, it's not Rings of Power. I'm binge watching Supernatural. I'm up to the first season finale. Ooh.
Oh, you should stop at season 4.
Should I watch that too? There's so many shows I should watch. Which, by the way, I saw someone in chat. Alasia, I know you love Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch a lot of like the nerd shows? Because someone was saying that we should watch a show together or something like that.
Like nerdy, like TV shows?
Yeah, I guess. Like I am like not nerdy.
Yeah, no. Well,
At
I mean,
all.
like I'm nerdy in my books. Like I know Tugs wants me to watch Firefly, and I didn't watch your reviews of it because I don't want to be spoiled. Because I do want to watch them. I do at one point want to watch Firefly. So yeah, I'm into it. It's just like the thing is with me, I'm trying to turn out book reviews. Like on my Bookstagram account. Again, I want to do it for my YouTube channel. So and so I usually just have so much going on. And if I have a new book I want to read, I'm going to put on that and knit in the evening versus a TV show. So yeah, I'm not against watching stuff. It's just like, I have to like pick and choose, like, what do I want to do? Ultimately with my time. So usually a book goes on instead of a TV show.
Okay. That's more educational, honestly. I should read more books. I should read more books. You know what? You should have a book club.
Yeah, no, that would be a lot of fun. I thought about doing that because people have asked me for recommendations, especially when it comes to fantasy. So yeah, no, that is definitely something maybe down the pipeline I'd love to do.
Or if you're really good at this, it'd be fun. Do just some live readings with like if you have members, that'd be fun too.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, when I could get members, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Okay, if you guys haven't yet, links down below. Follow Trouble Green and Jonny. They're down there, this week's guests. So yeah, let's get her up. Let's get her up. We want to get her at member status.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Look, the heck yeah, I love to read. I'd be down for a book club.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
I'm giving you
All
guys
right.
all the World War II books to read.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I have a bunch.
Yeah.
Well,
No, World War
E2
II
is
books
in
are
for it
awesome.
as well.
Yeah.
There we go. I mean, like, especially coming from someone who used to love reading books, like,
Mhm.
I don't know what to do now. My next best thing, there's a fantasy bookstore in Toronto that I used to love going to. They're still there. I actually drove
Mhm.
past it a couple of weeks ago. I kind of just want to pop in and be like, tell me what to buy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to buy. Just tell me what to buy. But I want to read the Shad book and the Razor Fist book. Haven't read any of those.
Nice.
Interested. Have no idea what it's about, but I'm,
Mhm.
it's there. It's there. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of getting there. I don't make time. I'm going to admit it. I
I'm
don't
curious
make
about the drinker stuff. I really want to do
time.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That too.
I have his first book on my wish list on Audible. Because I've got 9 bookshelves, closely approaching 10 probably. But I have over 400 books on my Audible because I'm huge into audiobooks. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm powering my way through The Last Unicorn right now. But yeah, no, usually I have like at least 5 or 6 books started at once. So yeah, I really like books.
Nice. No, I
Yeah,
love
and this
that.
guy
I love
made
that.
the mistake of taking me to a Barnes and Nobles. That was a bad mistake.
No, Logan, I saw you in your element. It was fun to see. I'm not scared of your book addiction, okay?
Hey,
All
you know
right.
what? I have to say something, especially being a part of this like fellowship community, whatever you want to call it. I prefer anyone who prefers movies, games, books over someone who wants to go to a club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hands down,
Amen
pants
to that.
down.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I have a new appreciation because like back in the day, I was like, I want someone who's extroverted, and then look at me now.
Yeah. For sure.
It's so
Nah,
good.
it's cool.
Someone I
It
can
just
go travel with. That's all I want.
yes, that's. I hope you get that, Tux. You need someone
Yeah,
who
for
can
sure.
travel with. That'll be awesome.
There we go. We got some people who've
That's
read the first
awesome.
book.
And because it sounded like kind of a Jason Bourne, Tom Clancy kind of novel, so which are totally up my alley. I love Tom Clancy, so yeah, I'm excited to read it. I will get to it one of these days. So yeah, I'm excited to read Drinker's book.
I love that. Okay, so let's get to a few questions that some of the chat we put up a Twitter post. And chat, if you have questions, drop it in the chat as well for these
Yeah.
two lovely people. All right, we have what's the key? What's
This
been
is
the
why we
key
like
to
being on.
having a great relationship living in two different states?
The key, singular.
Yeah, you have to pick
I
one.
mean, I think-
Keys?
I think there's a few important things, but one of them is just trust. You know, I feel like I had a good idea of Alasia was who she was before like I started dating her. You know, it's just like she's not someone who's just like her emotions or her convictions are just like, you know, on a whim. It's like if she likes me today, I'm pretty confident she's going to like me tomorrow. You know, if she likes who I am as a person, I'm pretty confident, you know, she's going to be intrigued by that years from now, you know? And so and we're both type A people, you know, like we miss each other, but we're very much okay, like being on our own, getting things done, having our own personal goals. Like we don't lose sense of who we are in a relationship. Like we still have our own things. And so I think those two aspects of I really trust her and I'm also very much okay with us building our own things in the meantime separately is kind of a blessing for now. So yeah, it works for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, like and you know, we make smalls. Well, I don't know if small is the right word, but we make sacrifices for each other to make time to make sure that we can spend together on FaceTime. You know, I'm usually someone who likes to work out in the evening. I'm trying to now move my workouts to be a little bit earlier in the day, so that you know I'm showered and all that stuff come evening times, because that's you know we very much are still operating on a little bit of a 9 to 5. You know, like we want the evenings to be free for each other. So, you know, I'm an early riser. I get up at 6 and I start my day. So I try to get going.
Johnny?
I go to bed at
Go to
4.
bed.
There's this 2-hour window. There's this 2-hour window where we're both asleep. But that's it.
Yeah,
And
basically.
so I always say like, good morning as I'm like going to bed, and she wakes up like 5 minutes later and it's like, hey, I got a morning text, and I'm literally just going to bed.
I was about to say, sometimes Johnny's streaming when I wake up and I don't understand it. I really don't.
Hey, have you noticed I've been better?
You haven't been as bad.
You have been
Yeah,
better.
she's been talking about sacrifices. I haven't done one 24-hour stream since we
And he's killing
started
it. Look at him.
dating.
He's jonesing. He's jonesing.
Yeah, but if she ever goes on like some sort of retreat in the mountains with like ladies from church or something, and she doesn't have cell phone service, I'm doing a 72-hour stream. Let's go.
No, you're not.
Wow. Jay Hailstone brought up that new threshold, 72-hour, and Johnny's like, oh,
He
me
did.
too.
But I'm like, I have to be responsible with this new chapter of my life. This is gonna be one area where I just need to let it go for now. But I'm telling you, the minute you go on that retreat, babe, it's on. It's on. Starting
like,
up the
please
stream.
make it 3 days
One
at least.
24-hour stream, poor guys. It's your 2-month anniversary. Just have him. Let him have it.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, trust is a big one, Dr. Rachel. We know who we are. I know who this guy is, and I know that there's no need to worry about, you know, anything. So yeah, trust is the big one. But yeah, not losing your sense of self, keep working on yourself and your goals, but also making time for each other.
I think something that kind of just on observation of the two of you, you guys knew a lot of each other's integral characters, and this was when you weren't like mutually interested in each other. Like you both knowingly were interested in each other. I think that a lot of that building friendship, we'll call friendship at that time, was really great. And that you guys actually could have trust in each other because, you know, when you're first starting to date someone that you don't know, you have to find that trust. Like, is this actually real? And you guys knew it was real. And having that friendship is bounds and leaps like way better in a sense that because you guys know who each other is.
Yeah.
Versus
Like I had seen her before we started dating. I'd seen her respond passionately to things of just being like, oh, I'd never do that. Or I would be about that. Like she's a woman of conviction, you know, and there's a different, like you can still be feminine, you know, you could still be, you know, you could still be a woman who lets your man lead, but still have your moral conviction. She has that. She's like super strong in that area. And so that was one thing that I knew is like, I liked what I saw. Once I started pursuing her, I was like, she's not going to like suddenly change. This is who she is. Like, you know, she's very strong willed. And I love that about her.
No, I love that. I love that. Okay. So let's get to another question. How do y'all manage this relationship with Johnny's odd sleeping hours? There we go.
I mean,
She said no.
I mean,
man.
I mean, it's long distance, so I mean, it's okay for now. You know, it's just like when, you know, like I said, I usually send her a text right before I go to bed, telling her good morning. You know, but I know that I'm the psycho in the relationship. Like at some point, like I will have to be the responsible adult and adapt, and I'm okay with that. It was like, you know, when we were hanging out this last time together, you know, when I went to go visit her, I wasn't gonna be like staying up till like 4 a.m. and be like, okay, good night, and just like, or just wake up at like noon while she's been up for hours. It's like, I'll adjust, you know, I can figure it out. And so, because yeah, that's just weird. And I understand I'm the odd one. So she gets up at normal hours.
Paul says people confuse letting a man lead as being submissive. Yes, it is. Wow. Mark is asking, can I be the psycho for a little, please? What does that mean? I was on nights. Excuse me. These catch up on sleep for work.
Mark's like, I want to do a 48-hour stream. Let me have this X-ray girl.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. Let's see how you do 48 hours. I would love to see it. I don't know if you yourself can handle it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see. Jonny has his long. Oh my god, I don't know if this is correct. His long were you interested in Alasia? How long were you interested in Alasia before you decided to ask her out? There we
go. There was different levels to it, you know. It's like, I don't know, like the truth is there was some level of interest the instant I first saw her, is because, you know, one, I knew she was attractive. I started everything I heard about what she was into. It was like, oh, she loves Lord of the Rings. Well, that's awesome, you know. Oh, she shares my faith. And then I hear her start talking about that. And it's like, and oh, she's like, she also hides in parties, you know, and she's like kind of is off in the corner. It's like, that's where I hang out. And it was just like, it was just thing after thing after thing. But it was in Dallas that I knew for sure that it was like, I am going to pursue this woman. Like she will know before the end of this trip, like what my intentions are. And so, but as far as interest, like that was subtly building from the moment I first was introduced to her.
And I remember you saying you said it as a joke, but I showed up in your chat and you're like, yeah, I've been subtly stalking Alasia, and I was like, oh, thanks. And you're like, I think that's the first time a woman's ever said that to me.
Yeah, I like to say things that sound a little bit sketchy and a little bit spicy, but you know, deep down they're not. It's like, because who doesn't do that? It's like if you meet somebody online and you're interested,
Instagram,
of course, yeah, you're
Twitter.
gonna go check out their socials. You're gonna watch their YouTube channel. That's just normal.
Yeah,
so, yeah. For sure.
That's another thing. Like, I don't know, at least how some YouTubers do it. Like, if you were to date just people off the internet, like when do you talk about YouTube? That's like an awkward conversation
Yeah.
because you guys came into it both knowing kind of the same thing about each other.
Mhm. Well, and
I
it
think
was kind of weird. Like the guys at my church, I was telling them I want to get into Twitch, and they're like, "What's Twitch?" And I was like, "Oh gosh, I don't want to explain this."
What kind of guy doesn't know what Twitch is? Like, come on, don't you play video games? You're whatever.
Maybe they
I
don't.
don't They,
Like,
I
You're
sincerely don't think they
you're
do.
not living life to the fullest. Anyway, all right.
But I never knew people live streamed or like played games online and watched people. I thought it was like such a wild world to kind of fall into.
That's fine. You're a
But
lady.
and then
You
the
like
other thing is
things.
like I always find it weird, and I've heard some YouTubers like Melanie say like Melanie Mac, like, it's weird dating someone when they know so much about you and you know nothing about them.
Yeah,
I think that would be so weird.
I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, like if they've been following you for a while,
Yeah.
but you're just getting to know them. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
that would be very strange.
Very strange, but I guess you guys don't have to deal with that. And I guess is the real. Oh, I mean, you guys played
Yeah.
Mario Kart, didn't you?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
The thing is, what's nice, and this is a way we balance each other. So he is the competitive one. I'm a perfectionist. I'm like the least competitive person you're ever going to meet. I was a competitive Irish dancer for 5 years, and it was never about the girl on stage with me. I was always competing against myself. So like he will get like worked up or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Like, I just don't care. But I actually do really enjoy Mario Kart. I think it's fun. I detest Fortnite. I just find it very frustrating. But Mario Kart for me is like super fun. So yeah, but no, I don't care about winning. I don't really care about that kind. So we balance each other out in that way, because he'll remind me, stop being so afraid that your videos for YouTube are not perfect, because that's what stops me from creating content, is because if they're not perfectly polished, I won't do it. So but then also I'm like, I'm not ever going to compete against him like in something about Mario Kart. I'm just like, yeah.
Mhm.
This is exactly like Mark. His videos have to be perfect.
Yeah.
I get it, because he'll be like, I want to record my audio all on the same time because your voice is different times of the day, different days.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, really? Why don't you just do it a different day? And he's like, you just don't get it, honey. You just don't get it.
That drives me nuts.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not a perfectionist. Give me a math problem and I will be, but not about video recording. It's interesting seeing two very different type A people together, because I don't know, Johnny, if you're like this with your videos. Are you not?
Perfectionist, I used to be, but no. I have a schedule to maintain, and if I make a mistake, I'll put it in the pinned comment, that sort of thing. The most important thing is I keep putting out consistent quality stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so, but I don't get perfectionist with it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Tugs, or not Tugs. She put this in the chat. Never mind. It's not her question. I know a lot of people hesitate when it comes to long distance relationships. So what's some advice you can give to people regarding distance and how you keep the relationship strong?
Be okay with yourself and enjoy your own life first. Like I was saying before Alasia came into my life that I loved my life. And part of it is because I've worked so hard to earn the job I'm at. And that doesn't happen without the viewers and without the subs and that sort of thing. But like it got to a point where I was like ready to have something exciting like Alasia in my life, because like I don't feel like she's the only thing that makes my life fun, And so although I miss the crap out of her, I'm also okay because I have my own goals in the meantime, It's like, because I've been tempted to drop like way too much money the very next day on plane tickets that I probably shouldn't be, just to like go see her. And we've had to remind each other, like, no, it's okay. We'll wait till that next visit that we've scheduled out. Don't be reckless with your money, And so I think just having your own goals and not losing track of like your own interests and pursuing what you need for your own life individually. And that keeps us both I think, grounded individually as we, kind of miss each other, but
I
we don't
think that-
have to have each other,
That's pretty important in just like an actual like if you do live together or you're in the same city or wherever you are,
Mhm.
that doesn't matter if you're long distance or not. Having that individualism is key because not everything you're going to do is with your partner. So having
Right.
your work, your own goals, all of that's great. And then you have your couples goals
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you have that for with each other. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And and I'll if we go, there's some days, especially on a day when he releases his videos, I don't bother him. I'm like, you need to stay focused on what you're doing. But so we can go hours during the day without talking. But around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I'll just send him a little text like, hey, I'm thinking about you. And I'm like, you don't, and I always have told him you never need to respond right away. Like, I understand if you're busy. Like, I try to put as little pressure on him as possible to like always have to be attentive and answer to me. Sometimes he answers right away, and then sometimes it's 45 minutes, an hour later he can get to me. But like just letting each other know, and he'll do the same thing with me. Like, I just want to check in with you, make let you know I'm thinking about you. We'll just do that throughout the date, and it makes us feel special. It makes us realize that we're still on each other's mind. So it's a very small, subtle little thing. And again, like there's no pressure to respond right away if you're busy, but just to know that the other person is thinking about you, it means a lot.
Yeah, I feel desired, but I don't feel suffocated either. Like Alasia's really good about that. You're really good. And I think that's, if you're going to do long distance, like understanding that balance or refining that balance, it's going to be pretty damn important.
Yeah.
So,
Something I've heard from some people who've done long distance is always figure out when the next time you're going to see each other is, and then what the end goal is. Like, are you going to work on a contract for 2 years and then come back? What's the next part? Are we going to move to wherever you're going to work, or are you going to come back, or what's the deal? Like, if you don't have an end goal, it's going to just end up being, I guess, bleak.
Yeah, for sure. Or just like you're just in a rut and don't know where you're going. Yeah. I've been, as a very intentional person, extra girl, I very much understand what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I've seen a long distance relationship, and I knew it was going to end. I wasn't surprised when it did. When this girl, she's Canadian, the guy is American, and he didn't want to marry, but the only way she could get there to work was if he married her. And I'm just like,
yeah, where's that going?
Where do you compromise there? So figuring out what your future goals, and I'm sure you guys have had long conversations about this, and it's good to see healthy relationships. Yes. And one that like we don't see, that I don't remember any relationships, and Tugs, maybe you'll know better, that have come from kind of like the we'll call it the fellowship, the community.
The only other one I know of, and everybody in the chat will know as soon as I say it, is Mary and Andrew.
Yes, sorry. Oh my gosh.
They were the first.
They were
Mary and Andrew were the first.
Yeah. I don't know any other internet relationships besides them now. Okay, two. We got two. There we go. Chat, if you guys know, let me know, because I am very forgetful too. So
yeah, I think it's just those. I think it's just you guys and them. I think you guys are the only ones. Yeah, you two sets of couples are the only ones.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep, they were the first, and they're still going strong, guys. Been 2 years.
Nice.
2 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, they're cute too.
I'm happy for them. I'm very happy for them. I miss Andrew and Mary. Together. But yeah. Okay, chat. If you guys don't have any questions, well, we still have a couple more super chats here. Never mind. Look at Miss Prime for 179 British pounds. I already follow both of them. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There we go. And John Thomas for $10. I think you meant to say Alasia?
Yeah, I think he was trying to phonetically spell my name.
Correct.
You're fine.
You read any L.E. Madaset. His Recluse and Imager sagas are the bomb. He has such great takes on magic systems, and they're unique, and his world building is amazing.
I haven't, but I will put that on a list. I am, if world building and the magic system makes sense, like I'm all for that. So thank you. I will definitely put that on my TBR.
Okay.
How long is your TBR list at this point? 1,000 books strong.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like 2 bookcases worth of books.
Yeah.
But you get through them. Like you get through books pretty quickly.
Programs. I have an associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's. So that's never stopped me. But sometimes reading can be a little tiresome. So yeah, I do prefer the audiobook versions, simply because it allows me to work double, and also it especially for especially fantasy books, if like the language is made up or all the place names are made up or what have you. I don't have to sit there and sound them out totally wrong. So it's nice to hear someone say it in my ear. Yeah.
Wait, it's Hermione, not Hermione? What?
Hermione?
Yeah, Hermione.
I called her Hermione for the longest time ever.
What? Hermione.
Hermione.
I think my dad, when we were young, we used to read it all together. We'd sit in the living room and he'd read it to us. And I think he said Hermione. I'm pretty sure. Hermione.
Yeah, this is me. I can't with audiobooks because I get distracted.
Yeah, I
have
full
to sit down and focus.
concentration. And the other thing is, like, I do it when I drive, but I'll like have to go back a lot because I get distracted. But that's just a me thing. Dr. Rachel for $5. Thanks for all the advice. Can't wait to meet you all in Vegas and Orlando.
Yeah, we
it's
can't
gonna be fun.
Today, people.
Yeah.
So excited.
Are you gonna bring brownies again, Dr. Rachel? I remember you brought brownies last time.
Yeah, can you
Not
lace them this
fun
time,
brownies or
Can they
whatever
be
you want to
normal
call them.
brownies this
Normal
time?
brownies.
Normal brownies, please.
I did have to ask because it was in Boston. I was like, this is just straight brownies, right?
It's legal here too, unfortunately.
Chewy for $5. I gotta bounce. This Mexican needs to hear sports talks, and of course, gotta love the ladies and Dr. Rachel, Lauren, and even Tug.
Oh, thanks, even
Thanks,
Tug.
Thanks, Chewy.
Oh my God, Mark.
Mark! You know what? We can go visit the store that Asian man and give some support to him if you really want. I believe that was the
all
store
over
for that.
There's places all over the place down here.
Yeah.
One right off the strip by our hotel. If you really want to go, I will not drive you, but I'll show you where
Hashtag
it's at.
stop Asian hate.
We haven't got off the rails yet, but here's the rails, here's the
There we
train,
go.
and
There's
the
Mark.
train's
Mark
leaning right now.
Yeah, Mark is standing there
this
with
way.
his leg and kicking it to the side.
Yeah.
Now Max and Mark are fighting in the chat. Say
Wait,
more. Say
what?
less. Say less.
Wow. If Mark disappears, we know why.
Same.
Oh my
Smile
God.
for me a while. Yes, my house is remodeled by auto. Yeah, that's me too.
Oh,
Where's the
I
true
love
crime podcast. Where my
podcasts.
true crime people at? True crime?
Podcasts.
Anyone?
Oh, they're my
Okay.
favorite for like when I'm working. Ugh,
Yeah.
it's the best.
My sister wants to start a true crime podcast. I'm slowly encouraging her, so hopefully she
Oh,
will.
do it.
It's
Yeah,
I think it's good. The thing with true crime, and I think this would be the hardest thing for me, it's like a book report.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do the research.
The research, and it's
Mhm.
sometimes a lot of research.
Yes, depending on the case. Crime
Reading.
Junkie, Crime Junkie, which is the most popular, probably the number one that everybody knows of. If you asked about true crime, they'd say, "Oh, Crime Junkie." It started out as just the two best friends who got into it together, and they actually have a whole staff of people that they have all over the country. That depending on where the case is, when the case was, and like what the location and blah blah blah, they actually have staffing. If you're hiring, ladies, Ash, Britt, hi. They will send these girls. They will send their staff out and conduct interviews, go to the places of the murder or of the assault or whatever the case is, and take photos of what it looks like. So, like you as the listener can go to the Crime Junkie website and you can actually see the photos. So when they're talking about this person was found, just off the freeway, which is really weird because it's a really busy freeway. There's a photo of the freeway packed with traffic 24 hours a day, so that you get like the mindset. It's crazy. The research, and it's just care for the victims and their families too. You don't want to go into it half bootied,
Sure.
because that's disrespectful. But Yeah, true crime. Love true crime. I listen to true crime podcasts so much that my coworker now dubs it Murder Mondays because I'll do Mondays when the new episode drops. So I always have it on at work and I'll listen to it on my desk. And he's like, "Oh, it's Murder Monday."
That's funny.
I have movie Mondays. It's Murder Mondays for Todd.
Murder Monday.
Okay, so I think if that is it for questions, and Mark's off the rail comments, Tugs, do you have anything that's coming up for you? Want to plug?
No, I had to think about it. Okay. No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. And then Jonny, where can people find you?
If you like Nintendo, Jonny64. I talk about Metroid and Zelda, Splatoon. If you like basketball, Johnny Arnett. If you don't like any of those things and you just like chatting and you're down to chat with me, Jonny64 on Twitch with 3 N's, Jonny64.
Yeah.
How many N's are you up to now with all your different platforms?
On Fortnite, there was 4. But that was also Fortnite. I think if it was like another like social media platform or something, I'm like, 4 might be too much. So
every time Johnny gets a new username, it's got 1 extra N in it. Like 30 N's at some point. It's gonna be great.
Because I don't want to leave Jonny64. I like the sound of it. I'm not gonna be like Jonny65 with 2 N's. No, I'm gonna keep Jonny64. However many N's it takes.
And then Alasia, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as a Troubled Green. My Bookstagram account is a Troubled Greens Library. And yeah, I'm new to all this whole world. So I'm slowly building myself, but we're getting there. So
that's good. Honestly, it's just finding your little niche and figuring out what you like and how to go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, as
far more interesting than me. Follow her stuff.
Wow. And I mean, I was lurking on your last podcast with Lady G and oh my gosh, who else was there? Yes, and yeah, they have a different type of kind of feminine relationship. Like, is that every week?
No, so I'm trying to, again, this is something I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to find my footing because like I keep thinking I figured out what I want to do, and I'm like, oh no, that's not what I want to do. So I'm trying to find my footing, but I'm trying to do the in-between space 2 times a month. And yeah, I do want to have like kind of deeper conversations. At one point, I would like to maybe with Rady and maybe even someone like Carrie Smith go through Proverbs 31 and what does it mean to be a Proverbs 31 woman in today's day and age. So yeah, I do have a slightly different bent, but they are about what femininity, what a strong woman looks like in this day and age. So the in-between space, I'm going to try and make a 2 times a week stream. And then the other 2 times, it's more pulp culture, Rings of Power, Star Wars, Maverick, those kinds of things. But I am also trying on those pop culture streams. I don't feel like we as the fellowship can just sit and complain because that achieves nothing. If anyone has watched my streams, you know that I'm very passionate about like stop complaining and start writing the book, start writing your poetry, start painting the painting, start doing the thing that's been laid on your heart because that's your talent and you're supposed to be using it. So, I'm very like, look at Ripa. Look at Ripa. Yeah. I mean, it took him years, but look at Ripa. So if you have a desire to do something, then start doing it. It literally just takes you being 15 minutes a day, being brave and sitting at your desk and doing it. So I'm trying to, at the end of my streams, and I've been slightly successful, is we have to talk about something we love, something that we've either just discovered or some old thing that we loved growing up. So I'm trying to do that because one, we need to be reintroduced to good entertainment, and you may have the thing that no one knows about that people really might enjoy, or just like, let's celebrate something good. So I'm also trying to incorporate that into my channel because I don't want to just sit and complain about the wokeness of Hollywood. That is like, I'm just a little tired of that. And so I do want to celebrate things we love. So
complain and watch it anyway,
right? Because I don't know, like Tugs and I, we're very opposite of a lot of the channels that we're around.
Yeah.
And so I get it. I want to look at the glass half full. I want to be that person.
I honestly haven't watched a lot of, sorry guys, but I haven't watched a lot of a lot of people in this community videos and stuff because I'm just sick of it. If you don't want to like it, don't watch it. Like, why are you putting yourself through that misery? Good Lord. But speaking of Ripa, shout out to Ripa and the Ripaverse. $3.4 million.
Guys, he's going to be the
best
first
impression from Austin Powers, which is terrible. But
first comic book I read.
Yeah,
Hell
same
yeah.
here. Yep, same here.
well, first one I've read in a while.
Epic Mike says, Jonny, no complaining. I'm going to say it like that from now on.
I just like that every time I have to add an N, I just know there's other people out in the world like me who really want a Johnny 64 as well. I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's now it's gonna be Jonny, and we disparate ooh every single time, and this is just where we're at right now.
I love
Every
it.
time you add an N to your name, though, an angel gets its wings. So keep going.
Good to know.
Sure. I've never.
It's
played
almost
that, right?
done. It's going to be done before Vegas. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, and then you can find me, Extra Girl. Links in the chat. I have now Extra Girl Live, where you can find my Twitch VODs. And in September, wait for it for the announcement on Twitter. I am going to do kind of like a lifestyle channel where you can watch me cook, eat foods, not buckbang, buckbang, or no, mukbang, but like it'll just be like trying out different foods because I have Cheetos mac and cheese. I've been wanting to try that, especially with Rings of Power.
It's
Galadriel. I'm eating a version of Galadriel.
I appreciate that.
There we go. Name my new dish.
It's the most exciting thing that show has offered is the Cheetos.
Cheeto explosion.
Yes, and working out as well for you simps out there that enjoyed the shelf building stream. It won't be a shirt like that, but you know.
I would say wear a better shirt.
Yes. Guys, that was innocently not meant to be like that, but it became that. So it's okay. I get it. Yeah, and then I kind of like this this idea of saying something that we love, Alasia.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah, it's better.
Something that we love. Let's see. I love napping. There we go. I had a nap today. It was a wonderful nap. I'm sorry.
I love when Mark puts really sad faces in the chat because he just seems so dejected.
Which shirt?
The one you wore in your self building stream.
Oh,
I love, in all seriousness, I love these conversations, and I love the conversations that I've had with Aleja on her streams as well. And yeah, and that we all can find some good in this world. Stupid.
We got to talk to you about all this.
Yeah. No, this is great. This was a lot of fun. Generally not someone to like talk necessarily about myself. So yeah, I was a little nervous coming in, but yeah, no, this was really great. And we, I will end with this. Jonny and I have been really blown away by the love and support that you guys have shown us. We want to be a little private about who we are, but we really have just been so touched by everyone's well wishes and just the outpouring of love that we've seen from y'all. So we really do appreciate it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good to see the healthy relationships, and I'm glad and thank you guys for coming on and sharing.
Yes.
Don't. I mean, not that I'm saying that you're going to, but don't hide that because we all need this. I think if more people saw good relationships and healthy relationships, maybe the world wouldn't be so wonky.
For sure, there's a balance. I'm just not going to be telling you what my favorite, outfit is that she wears.
No,
I might just keep that to myself.
Let me guess. It's a beanie.
You're just gonna have to keep guessing, all right? That's all I'm saying.
Yes, put the healthy relationships out there. Don't have like Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh God.
Them inspiring you. We want real good, healthy relationships, good starts, good middles, and I want to see that. I really do. It's inspiration.
2 months and 7 days ish, roughly. No, we'll do now. We'll say now.
Tugs is counting better.
We got you, fam.
I'm gonna have to text Tugs. I'm gonna be like,
Tugs, are we at the year yet?
It's our anniversary, Jonny. I am now your adopted child. That's what happens when you're in this relationship. Mark knows. Now you know. Welcome. Hi.
No, you're not an adopted child. You're the wife.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Your second
I'm
wife.
your adopted child. Sorry.
But anyways, thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Jonny. Thank you, Alasia, for being here. Thank you, Tugs. You guys have been awesome. Thank you, mods. And next week
That was my point.
Wow.
Yeah, I
We
know.
don't need to-
That was literally my point.
We don't need to have those conversations. Although I still know what the answer is.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Next week we're going to be in Vegas. I don't know if we're actually going to go live, and if we do, we will go live at the meetup on our time, but we'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Depends on how chaotic it is. Yeah.
Yeah. If not, we'll try to make some time for maybe an impromptu stream, or we'll just stream when we get back home, you know.
Just stream by the pool. That won't.
Oh, would you guys
Maybe
like a
not
pool
at all.
stream? It will look something like this.
Wow, really?
I'm gonna get Mark to wear that.
Yes, I want to get that. We should get that outfit and wear it. Mark and Max can wear it too.
But anyways, y'all have been great. Thank you, and yeah, I hope we will do it live. Good night, y'all.
Bye, chat.
Hi, chat. Thank you all.